success is not about talent, just talent of course. It's always about strategy. With the right positioning, with the right talent, with the right strategy, a name can turn into a brand and an idea into an empire. With such ideas, we'll cover in this series called Playbook about these strategies which create a massive audience impact which is also lasting. Today, we have our guest, Chef Ranveer Brar, who's not just a chef. He's more than a chef, an actor, a celebrity, somebody who will ground you back, will hold you and show you the world around and introduce India in a whole new way. Hi sir, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine,
That's
sir.
very kind of you, very kind words. Thank you.
So sir, let's start with this. You've not just been a chef, you've been a celebrity, you've been expanding in the digital space. Was this always the plan, the diversification, or it just happened during the journey?
I think diversification is an instinct. It's nature. I don't think it is a plan. I think people, brands by nature tend to. Some of them tend to concentrate their energies. Some of them tend to spread their energies. I'm the kind of guy who likes doing too many things at the same time. And as more people observe you, then you call it diversification. Others still might call it distraction.
Right, sir. So, sir has been working with Philips, with Leica, with Toli, with brands, so many and so much diversity in those brands. And there have been brands that associate with him for more than 10 years. So how do this lasting journey with the brand last? And other incidents where you can share that you've changed the evolution of the brand. You've, more than just a brand face, added something to the brand.
See, most of the brands that we work with, so all, whether it's home center, whether it's Philips, whether it is
Leica, but
Leica, all these brands are either brands that are old and our associations are 10 plus years old, right? So when you work with legacy brands, when you work with brands that are so solid in their foundation and so clear in the way the world looks at them, I think you need to appreciate and then you need to contribute. So for me, it depends on the brand that I'm working with. If we are working with brands that are 100 plus year old brand, you find merit in what they have done so far before you give your 2 cents. And I think that's my approach to the whole thing. With food brands, I am definitely very active in co-curation, in co-developing, in creating products that are the right market fit, that fit the right size and price tonality in the market. So I'm very actively involved in product development, innovation, market fitment. But with legacy brands, I sit and observe, I learn, and then I find those minor tweaks that probably help them realign. Another example, we've developed a bunch of series of air fryers with Philips. We've developed an entire range of breakfast cereals with Kellogg's. We used to call them Malgudi. And then we developed an upma for them. So yes, developing, co-curating, that's the real joy of associating with the brand. I never wanted to just be a face on the pack because that's transactional, right? The real joy is when you connect with the values of the brand and you sort of add value to the brand.
Well, you have a palate and you cook, you always be picky. And while picking up brands, what's something you look for when you're picking a brand?
Great people who I can have great conversations with. I think a brand attracts a certain set of people towards it, and if I jam with those kind of people and I'm attracted to the brand as well, then I know it's the right fit. A brand is nothing without the people who project it, represent it, talk about it. So I think for me, people who represent the brand and how I vibe with them is how I connect.
Well, on the flip side, there are always strict no-nos while choosing a brand. what happens when a very lucrative offer comes from a brand, and what's a hard no when you're picking a brand?
So we don't do fast food.
Okay.
We don't do food that we feel is not rooted in its sensibility towards India. And that, I think, is basically what we look at. Also, I think how we work with brands is brands that might be smaller right now, but they're speaking a progressive language of sustainability, of produce that is Indian, that is non-processed. You are happy to work with them for maybe a little less, right? Because those are the ones you want to do well, right? And so I think it's a little bit a mix of how you look at the whole ecosystem and what your value system is. But for us, the only no is no junk food, no fast food. So you'll never see me doing burgers and pizza, and all that.
Well, when you're collaborating with brands, there's one very important thing that comes when you are collaborating, that's storytelling. More than food, more than culture, you're bringing stories to people and people connect to stories. Is there a certain strategy that you follow when you pick up a brand and you have to narrate a story around it? Or do you just follow your heart and see whatever works with you?
Stories are everywhere. Every brand is a story, right? It's not a logo, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Leica is a logo, but then the story is what makes it a brand. So I think every brand is a story, and stories are everywhere. I don't think you'd want to choose a brand for its story, but then it's easy to get into a brand and make it more interesting with stories that are real, that people connect to. We are all living embodiments of stories. हम सब चलते फिरते किस्से हैं.
True. So, sir, when you are writing a story, when you're covering food and lifestyle, all of these things, and when you have such huge audience impact, because you have like 4.1 subscribers, 1 million subscribers, like 10 million followers on Instagram, when you have such big audience, is there something that you refrain from doing as a person who promotes food and lifestyle, other than the fast food thing, like other brands? You've been with Leica, you've been with other brands other than food, lifestyle brands. Is there something that you don't want the audience to, some sort of way resonate with?
If I don't believe in it, I won't say it. I think that's the only window. If I'm not convinced, I won't say it. And I make sure that the brand sits with me and across the table and tries and convinces me, or I convince them. And that is true with everything that we do. If I'm saying it, it has to sound and feel like I'm saying it, or I'm not comfortable saying it. So I think it starts with choosing the brand and vibing with the people who are the brand. If you get that right, these problems never happen.
True. And coming to the impact part, of course, you have a very large audience base.
And it's not 10 million, it's 4.1 million on Instagram and around 8.1 million on YouTube.
So I flipped it. Yeah, so sorry.
I'm just saying that.
Sorry for the numbers.
No. People shouldn't get misguided.
Yeah, of course. So I must have flipped the numbers. So sorry. So my next question is, when you are somebody who's working with brands and who's had this persona for a very long time, it's very easy to get typecasted. कि रणवीर जी तो food के काम करते हैं. So how do you change this influencer, this food chef, celebrity wife, if you want to change? Because you just mentioned about a book that you're writing about poetry. You've done modern love as an actor. How do you diversify your own persona and do not be refraining from typecasted as somebody who just does food?
I think we should not make an agenda of it. We are all human beings. We do more than one thing. I am a chef, but I'm also human. Yeah. I will have my likes and dislikes. I would want to do a lot of things. I'm sure you do more than just what we're doing right now. And I think you need to believe in yourself as a human being, and very strongly stand by the human you. And then diversification happens. People allow you to be human. They allow you to make mistakes. They allow you to have more than one passion. They allow you to be multi-hyphenated. I think it's very important for us. We are the ones who put ourselves in a shell because it's working for us. The audience does not, right?
True.
And it's very important. The audience is ready to believe that you're human and that you can have more than one talent and more than one likes, dislikes, passions, and so on and so forth. So I don't think it's an agenda or a strategy or a forced choice. It is just being yourself and believing that people will believe in yourself, believe in you.
Well, digital ventures, restaurants, books, films, shows. What's one passion project that you have in your mind right now? Which, for example, Kashkan, the Dubai restaurant. What's one thing that drives you towards it?
I think right now, it's the hills, to be very honest. Not just because I'm extremely overworked, but also, my recent visits in Kashmir, Ladakh, I just feel there's a big void in my learning there, and there's so much to learn. Right now, the hills are calling me. I want to study Himalayan food a lot more. I feel I haven't done justice to it. Not just the food, obviously, the culture, the music, the places where they sort of cross over, the agriculture, the farming, everything. I need to spend some time in the Himalayas.
All right, Himalayas are calling. So, if I'm talking to you, one question that will always come in my mind, and it should be like a celebrity questions also, and because it's food. What's one secret ingredient that makes brand Ranveer what it is right now?
I think the ability to make mistakes. The ability to make mistakes is what makes brand Ranveer what it is right now. The ability to the belief that if you are honest and human, you will make mistakes and people will accept that because all of us are human. And that gives you the courage to try more.
True. Well, what are the pros and cons of being a personal brand? Personal branding has been a very new thing in the Indian landscape where you follow the person more than just a big establishment. What are the pros and cons that you've seen?
I think the pros are you can always, you know yourself and you can always assess whether your projection is matching where you are right now or there's just too much pretense or there's a mismatch in you versus the projection of you. That's the biggest advantage, right? Sometimes, because when a brand is not alive, you need a brand Bible to say, well, this is whether this brand is aligned or not aligned. You don't need a Bible. This is how I'm feeling right now. Is my projection fake or real? You can always judge that. That's the pro. The con is that whether you like it or not, you cannot detach. Whether you, as much as you want to say, I want to be able to be, a step away and let it run by itself. No. Whether you like it or not, you will be tired. It is you who people want. You will have to be present. You will have to smile. You would have to be on your toes. It is your physical presence that will make the difference, and it can be tiring.
Indeed, it can be. So, sir, talking about the future, because personal branding is becoming a very big thing, and chefs now are very big part of you, Vikas sir, Kunal sir, Sanjeev sir. So, what's the future of chefs as personal brands?
I think the future is bright and brilliant. I always say that we are not even the Sunil Gavaskars of the cooking field. The Virat Kohlis are yet to come. The Shubman Gills are yet to come. So we are, while we think that we've sort of set up something big, but trust me, the next few generations, and when you'll really see it shine. You'll really see the stars and the superstars come up and the real brands begin to form and show up.
Well, last question, because it's a series about Playbook and how you play by the rules and you break some rules. My one question is, what's one big rule that you follow other than believing in yourself and trusting the process, that every person who's trying to become a brand or trying to start one can play by? One playbook rule.
Just be yourself. Just be yourself. There is space in this world for everybody. That's one rule that I follow, and I always make sure I check that box whenever I'm confused. Awesome.
Well, thank you so much. This was for the first episode of Playbook. We'll come back for more episodes. Thank you so much, sir, for having us. Thank you so much, sir.